Your student is used to producing his native language with different sounds than those he must learn in order to speak English. This will involve different tongue and lip placement and different mouth movements. He's been making his native language sounds his entire life. Acquiring the new sounds of English might take considerable time. In some cases, inaccurate production of English sounds will result in unintelligible speech or speech with a heavy accent. In other instances, poor English articulation can result in a miscommunication, misunderstanding, or a change in meaning. For example, look at the ship versus look at the sheep. If your student is having difficulty with pronunciation, you can help him in several ways. 1. Model the proper pronunciation. Have him repeat after you. 2. Let him watch your mouth as you make the sounds. 3. Describe what is happening in your mouth as you make the sounds. All of this will be easier if you know a little about how the sounds of English are different and how they are alike. Ask yourself these 4 questions about how sounds are made. 1. Can you continue the sound as long as you want, or does it just stop? 2. When you make the sound, do you use your vocal cords? 3. Does the sound come from your mouth or from your nose? And 4. What part of your mouth do you use to produce this sound? Let's look at each of these questions individually, but first, let's look at the vowel sounds. There are the long vowel sounds, which are the same as the names of the letters. A, E, I, O, U. And the short vowel sounds, A, E, I, A. That accounts for 10 vowel sounds. There are 8 others. Listen as I pronounce each of these. As in her, girl, burn. R, as in arms. Or, as in fork. Oo, as in food. June, blue, chew. As in book. Ow, as in town, mouth. Aw, as in lawn, pawl, ball, caught, or bought. And oi, as in boy, or boil. Notice that you can hold on to any of these vowel sounds. Listen, ah, oh. This means that all vowels are continuants. You can hold them as long as you have breath. Some consonants are also continuants. Listen to the sounds for S, M, and L. S, M, L. Some consonants are called stops. You simply cannot hold on to them if you're making them correctly. Listen as I make the sounds for B, T, and P. B, T, P. The flow of air is stopped for an instant as you make the sounds. If you find that you seem to be able to continue making these sounds, you are probably adding a short U sound, as in ba. Adding this extra vowel sound can be confusing, so try not to do it or teach it to your student that way. You can see the reason for question 1 then. Can you continue the sound as long as you want, or does it just stop? When teaching your student to read, knowing whether a sound is a continuant or a stop is important in order to blend sounds to form words. See how much easier it is if you select a word in which all of the letters are continuants. Sam. Isn't that a lot easier than ba-at? Knowing whether a sound is a continuant or a stop is also useful when you are helping your student with pronunciation. In some cases, your student may substitute a stop for a continuant. For example, substituting B for V in pronouncing the name Victor for Victor. Now let's look at question number 2. When you make the sound, do you use your vocal cords? If you do, the sound is voiced. If you don't, the sound is unvoiced. You can check this by placing the back of your hand under your chin as you make the voiced sounds. Let's make the short vowel sounds. Ah, eh, ah, Do you feel the vibration? All vowels are voiced. Consonants can be either voiced or unvoiced. Sometimes the only difference between two consonants is that one uses the vocal cords. Otherwise, the position of the mouth is almost identical. For example, let's make the sound for the letter Z with your hand under your chin. Z. You can feel your vocal cords vibrating, so you know that this is a voiced consonant. Now let's make the sound for the letter S. Notice that you cannot feel any vibration. Now, make the sound for the letter Z again. Z. Notice the vibration? The position of your mouth is the same for both of these sounds, but with S, you cannot feel the vibration. We say S is the unvoiced equivalent of Z. If you have difficulty noticing the difference between voiced and unvoiced sounds when you have your hand under your chin, try placing your hands over your ears and repeating the sounds for S and Z. Do you hear the difference? Speakers from some language groups might not have the same voiced or unvoiced distinction for all the consonant sounds that exist in English. If this were the case with the sounds for S and Z, the student might have difficulty hearing and understanding the difference between two words like sip and zip, or correctly pronouncing some words which contain either an S or a Z sound. Let's look at other similar pairs. The sound for the letter G is G. It is a voiced sound. If you keep your mouth in the same position but don't voice the letter, you will get the sound for C, K, as in cup. The letters CK as in back and K as in book also make the K sound. If a student confuses the voiced and unvoiced sound, he might say bug for buck. P is the unvoiced equivalent of B. T is the unvoiced equivalent of D. The third question is, does the sound come from your mouth or from your nose? This may sound like a funny question, but it certainly isn't if you have a head cold. In English, 3 sounds come through your nose. We call these sounds nasals. They are You can easily tell that they are nasals. Begin to make the sound for the letter M, and then pinch your nose. The same thing will happen with the other 2 sounds. A person with a bad cold might sound like he's saying figure instead of finger. And finally, no matter where the sound comes from, you need to consider which part of your mouth you use to produce it. For example, the position of our lips is critical if we are to make the sound for P correctly. P. When you make the sound for the letter V, you use your lips and teeth. V. Notice that your lower lip touches your upper teeth and causes a vibration. Other sounds depend on the proper positioning of your tongue. When you make the sound T, your tongue touches the roof of your mouth just behind your front teeth. For K, your tongue touches the back part of the roof of your mouth. For vowels, tongue placement cannot be seen or felt as easily as consonant sounds. A vowel is made by the tongue humping up at a certain portion of the mouth. We can categorize the various vowel sounds according to where this hump is located as each sound is made. Another feature of vowel production which will improve your students' English pronunciation is the understanding of tense-lax pairs. There is more tension around the mouth during the production of some vowels and more relaxation for others. The sounds E and I are one tense-lax pair. My mouth is tense when saying the long E sound, beat. My mouth is relaxed when saying the short I sound, bit. Ask your student to watch your mouth as you say these 2 words. Then have him repeat the words to feel the difference. The following words illustrate tense-lax vowels. The vowel sound in the first word of each pair is tense, as in beat. In the second, lax, as in bit. Bait, bet. Boot, book. Boat, bought. The value of your understanding this tense-lax difference is most evident when you are working with students who do not have a vowel distinction between E and I in their first language. In this case, the words cheap and chip will sound the same, and the student will have difficulty pronouncing the 2 words. Your understanding of this tense-lax distinction will help improve his pronunciation. In English, some vowel sounds are produced in the front of the mouth. E as in beat, I as in bit, A as in bait, E as in bet. The vowel sounds produced in the back of the mouth are oo as in boot, as in book, o as in boat, aw as in bought, and ah as in olive. Our lips are unrounded when making front vowel sounds, e, eh. Our lips are rounded when making back vowel sounds, oo, During the pronunciation exercise, it might be helpful to show your student how you are forming the sounds with your mouth. Often students are embarrassed to look directly into your eyes or at your mouth. If so, a mirror is a very useful tool in teaching pronunciation. It's possible to position the mirror so your student can see your mouth as you make the sounds. If you position the mirror properly, the student will see your mouth, but not your eyes. Now let's review what we've learned about sounds. Sounds can be continuants, such as a, o, s, or they can be stops, such as b and t. Sounds can be voiced, such as z and g, or unvoiced, such as s and k. All vowel sounds are voiced. The sounds and called nasals, come through the nose. All other sounds come through the mouth. Consonant sounds depend on the position of your tongue, teeth, and lips, such as p, v, and t. Vowel sounds change by the place in the mouth where the tongue hump is made, can be described in tense lax pairs, and can be distinguished by rounded or unrounded lips.